Ladies and gentlemen, this Friday, the 9th of May 2014, after a month in the South China Sea, in Singapore, Indonesia, Vietnam, we are back here with great news, slowly to unveil in our reporting soon, so hold your breath and wait to see what's coming up. Let's start now with the markets, and the markets, you know, it's very important to know because they are not sustainable anymore. This is not a secret, you can see it. But who is Mickey Mousing about? This is very important because some people destroy the shipping industry. Some new kids in the block, some glitterati, they're out there, others via the banks that they're trying out, others for fans. It's very important to see who is involved and why. Of course, there are rich pickings in this industry, but there should be caution and restraint and control. It's a free world, but it must be controlled. Otherwise, don't be surprised, don't complain if you see bankruptcies and more than that. It is very, very important. Wait and see how many people will be flowed down soon because they don't know what they're doing in this industry. The industry, the fundamentals are there, the parameters are there, the figures are there. That is important. We know it's over 7 billion tons a year of cargoes being moved around the globe, from 500,000 tons, that's where 500 million have been carried in 1950, for example, after the war. Now, this is our 17th overview of the market for 2014 and some world situations about geopolitics. The important issue, it is important to see that today is a very significant day, and there's a Greek maxim denoting the 9th of May, Kiominas Echinja, and the markets now are dropping down. The Baltic Dry Index closed down at 997 points, went again down the 1,000 point bar, and that was also 20 points from that of the 2nd of May, last Friday week, that went from 1,070 points. It is important to see that it cannot be sustained anymore. Short and long term have been predicted by this medium, and it's a bleak story. Of course, there are people who will make money. Only those special people with deep depth knowledge about the market will succeed. Now, I will be ironic and repeat again that the market is still down 55.2% from the last closing of December 2013 of 2,227 points. That's a big amount of 1,230 points. 52.2% to be precise. The big culprit, again, the BCI, the index which denotes the situation on the Cape-sized vessels, was down now. 72 points since yesterday, down at 1,547. And on top, 282 points since last week. That's a very, very important drop. Volatility at its best. We said one size cannot determine the markets. The BPI, the size that in our views reflects the industry, was slightly up 19 points to 898 points, which is 33 points from previous week's 865 points. Nothing spectacular here, given that this size, of course, governs more or less the market. It is the size that will determine, as we have now soon, say 2015, 2016 early, we'll have a new Panama Canal, and the real state of the markets, they will be determined there. We remind you that the great percentage of what is called cyclicality evaporates. Let's see what the new leader, Senor Varela, has to do down there in Panama, and the situation in the canal resumes in better order and faster for the completion of the works for the benefit of humanity. As, in our view, there are some business hooligans looming in the background trying to create a situation. Be careful there. The BSI, down 9 points yesterday at 909, was also 6 points down from last week's 915. Not a very happy situation here. The BHSI, more or less at the same levels like last week, was down 2 points at 506, which is 4 points up from last Friday's closing of 510. Again, a downward dry market. The wets, very significantly, there was a big change here in the size. The Baltic Dirty Dry Index was at 665 and the BCTI at 25.34 on an opposite level. So overall the dirties were up 21 points and the cleans were down 60 points. Very mixed feelings here. Caution. And having said that, it is, believe you me, the right time to build ships. Not to create overcapacity, but to gain when the market turns up. Of course we will see one good market to come. And this is very important. But, you know, the prices are very low. And they will be lower, particularly for those interests that they will be able to build cheaper ships on a fantastic level of quality. It is a buyer's market, and believe you me, if you know the trick, the business trick, you can be very successful. Otherwise, don't mess it further up. Now, coming now to politics. A very important level here of interest comes from Ukraine, which goes from worse to worse. And as we have said it from the very beginning, and we have put it in writing, expect the unexpected. There's going to be a very big melee. It's going to change many things in the area there and beyond that. But the press and the media must exercise restraint as the shit will hit the fan. Don't be always your master voice, because you'll be exposed. And you put people at danger whether you're right or wrong. So we must know how to negotiate. I do belong to the John Fitzgerald Kennedy School, and I never fear to negotiate. But here, how one can negotiate with the press and the media intrudes in a way which destroys everything. This is very important. South China Sea, as I said in the beginning of this reporting, we spent 1 month in the area to verify the situations, to see with our own eyes and judgment what is to come. Vietnam we visited, we've seen around, we see the feelings, you know. Singapore and Indonesia, we got mixed around with many people and we got our views. We have our own judgment and the situation will go. Japan, China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Indonesia, the Borneo nations, Malaysia, you name it, they will get embroiled to this melee. This especially expressed the tongue, which is like a tongue in South China Sea, is very important. And the US there, the US have many things to do in this area, but it must be done by the magic, stick of somebody who does a strong, a powerful military diplomacy. I'm saying this. The aftermath of the seawall disaster, it is, a story which continues. Too many things at stake. Life cannot come back, whether prime ministers or head of class societies, they resign. Life is life. And as we speak, I urge all classification societies and port state controls and the flag states to expect here and now a lot, not of just rust buckets that are still around, unfortunately, despite the ISM and the ISPS and all this lot, but to verify the situation. I'm not gonna, go and get the snake out of the hole, but I'm telling you, if you bet, you will lose billions from this side here if you're going to see the situation of many vessels that it came to our attention. And this is worldwide. On a better tone, we have an amazing event, the celebration of Vista's 40th anniversary with Maria Dixon's faithful at Clyde's Auditorium in full force. It was a very great debate there, and vigorously we debated the issue whether the shipping industry is invisible, and if so, whose fault is it? The winners, they said yes, it is invisible by far, 75 to 25%. And of course, I'm sure most of you have already inked your diary, and beyond that you have made arrangements to be on the 16th of June up in Liverpool, another British shipping centre where the debate is very important there. It's a very Shakespearean, I might say, to wait or not to wait. This is the question. A discussion or, about the undeclared container weights. And again, the debate on whether the shipping industry is invisible and whose fault it is. The theme, the logo, the maxim if you like it, came by ship, is highlighting the role of shipping that plays in our life, all of us. And it's a very well chosen and thought topic. It's about, all things being equal, and it's about time the public knows how the shipping industry affects our lives. How important it is, how many people are suffering, families at the back, accidents, you name it. The image of shipping must be raised, and it's the press and the media again that spoil the broth. Finally, a great event took place last Wednesday at the IMF luncheon. On Wednesday, we had at the Baltic Auditorium the event sponsored by the Bureau Veritas London office with Captain Potagal Mukudan, Captain Muku as we all know him, on a very great day, discussing with a great slides presentation bills of lading and trading finance fraud. With nearly 30 of the city's shakers and makers of the industry, we heard some amazing things that go on, and there were very interesting questions. I'm sure that when you see the write-up, you'll understand of what this important presentation was all about. Jim Davis himself, as usual, touched wood on a great day. Posidonia 2014, the great biennial Greek conference and exhibition from the 2nd to the 6th of June, and even before with the various receptions and parties, is coming up. As for the parties and receptions, some people, sometimes were, questioning what's going on in these parties. Yes, it's a great networking. You have to meet your client. You have to come and become interwoven with the industry. It's not just the email and the telex or whatever you call it. It's the real means of communications is to get in touch and nicely rub shoulders with all the people, if you like. Elections. Local elections in Greece and in Europe. And the outcome will affect all of us. We are keeping a very close eye to the Greek saga, which, will affect greatly Greece and Hellenism worldwide. We wish you a nice weekend and be on guard. And remember, this medium provokes anybody to come up, whether in writing or not, and see what happens in the market. We would like to be judged too, because everything we have said, we have put on canvas immediately we started this site. Be careful, have a lovely weekend. This is John FARACLAS from allaboutshipping.co.uk in London. Over and out.